Hey guys, Zane here, and today we're going to be talking about the story of Barbara, Mondstadt's idol. Before I get into it, I just want to very quickly say I do not know how to pronounce all of these words. They are in Icelandic and some are German. I will do my best to pronounce them in a way where you can understand them, and I'll put them on screen, but just know it won't be perfect. Now, with that out of the way, our story starts with one Simon Page, a great adventurer in his youth, known throughout the lands of Teyvat. As he aged, he came to Mondstadt, where he met Frederica, a maiden who hailed from the Gunninger clan, a well-respected noble family in Mondstadt. Now, Gunninger as a name is actually a reference to a famous Icelandic figure, known as the Mother of All Kings. How much that matters to Genshin's story is up to you, but it's a fun little tidbit nonetheless. Anyways, the pair fell in love, and Simon actually gave up his life of adventuring, instead dedicating himself to the church, where he would eventually serve as its Cardinal of Daybreak, a rather prestigious position, although we're not clear on the details of it just yet. Around this time, the couple had their two kids, these of course being the older sister Jean and the younger sister, our topic for today, Barbara. Shortly after they had kids together, Simon and Frederica separated, with Jean remaining with her mother and Barbara staying by her father's side. From a young age, Barbara was extremely polite and quiet, living by her mantra that hard work is the most miraculous magic. Of course, as a sister to Jean, a notorious overachiever, she often felt insecure growing up with what most would consider to be one of the finest Mondstadts ever produced, and soon Barbara grew discontent always being second class to her sister. Whether it was in school, in combat, or anything else they both had in common, Barbara was just always worse than her sister. That didn't mean she was bad by any means, she actually excelled, but put next to Jean, she was just never good enough. Sure, hard work may have been the most miraculous magic to her, but what if even that didn't work? Barbara was determined to make sure her failings didn't get her down, only letting herself be sad for, and yes, this is really in her lore, let herself be sad for 30 seconds before forcing herself to be happy and move on. You heard it here first. Barbara cures depression by just being happy. Parents tell kids everywhere, I told you so. Now, personally, I choose to interpret this as acting happy, like in a more fake it till you make it mindset, but as written, it just says she's sad for 30 seconds and then she moves on. I like my version more, and that's kind of my headcanon, but feel free to do with that information what you will. Now, eventually, her dad was so impressed with her determination that he trained her himself, teaching her the art of medicine. Slowly, her goal in life shifted from being better than her sister in something to a desire to help others, a sentiment she's kept till present day. Although, the desire to surpass her sister in something never truly went away, as we'll see later. Soon after becoming proficient in medicine, she joined the church, following in her father's footsteps. Even though she was young, they were more than happy to have another set of trained hands, and she was assigned to a medical wing to help treat the sick. One evening, a young boy arrived at the church, running a high fever and unable to sleep from the sickness. Barbara tried all the medicine she knew, but nothing would do so much as begin to cure the boy. An experienced nun told her that sometimes singing could ease the pain of others, and although Barbara had never actually sung before, if it would help the boy, she'd try it. So, she sang a lullaby. Although, embarrassingly, she quickly changed to humming when she realized that she didn't actually know all the words. She hummed almost all night, until her voice was hoarse and then some. Eventually, the boy fell asleep, and so did Barbara soon after, curled up on a makeshift bed that she'd made next to the boy as she got tired. When she woke the next morning, she found something tightly clasped in her hands. It was her vision, although she didn't care about it all that much at first. She was much happier to see the young boy smiling again, his fever gone as he waved to her. Emboldened by the experience, she channeled her desire to help people with her vision by singing, although in a way unique to her. Mondstadt at the time was only home to bards, their vocals telling stories, accompanied by their instrument of choice. Barbara's singing was new, much closer to the pop music we listen to than the folk music Mondstadt's bards play. At first, people didn't actually like her music all that much. It was new and weird to them. But the city of freedom is nothing if not accepting, and Barbara is nothing if not determined. So it's no surprise they slowly came around to her soft voice, embracing her music along with the bards of old. Around this time, a woman named Alice approached Barbara. Alice is Klee's mother, a free spirit rumored to be inhuman to some extent. She's the author of Teyvat Travel Guides, a popular book series throughout the land, and is an elder of the Hexen Circle, which means coven in English, an organization of mages and alchemists that collect and research the Erminsul, although you may know it better as those white trees we get loot from after completing a domain, rumored to have roots stretching all the way into the abyss. The trees we see are but babies. The actual trees stretch for miles in either direction. Now, Alice and this organization, and of course the trees, deserve an entire video on them, and I plan to cover them one day. But for now, just know they're very powerful and quite mysterious. Now, back to Barbara. Barbara was offered a magazine, courtesy of Alice. This magazine was heavily implied to have come from our world. I mean, it's a magazine about idols. Kind of screams Japan. Barbara, although at first confused, quickly took to the idea, realizing her songs could do more than heal a cut, but heal the spirits of those she sings to, making them overflow with joy as she sang. Now, no one can actually say if this is her vision working or her voice, but either way, she was committed. She learned song after song, once again showing her hard work as she worked towards mastering her craft. Sometime later, Alice returned, bringing news of the catastrophic failure that was to vaunt idols, and told Barbara she was actually the last one left. Instead of being bummed out, she was ecstatic, telling Alice, "I guess you can leave it to me to define what it really means to be an idol." It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows for Barbara, though. She never forgot her sister, and although Jean was much too busy for them to meet often, Barbara still wanted to help her. And, more selfishly, she still wanted to be more popular than her. She pushed herself further and further, saying it was to be a better idol, but she knew it was also to be as good, if not better, than her big sister. Of course, you can't help everyone all the time, and although everyone, including her sister, adored her, she knew their smiles would soon melt away after she stopped singing. Could she really call herself an idol if she couldn't heal everyone's internal conflict? She knew that the blind woman, Glory, would go back to wistfulness for their lost love, and Anna would go back to doubting that she'd ever be cured once Barbara's new song left their ears. This eats away at Barbara, filling her with self-doubt and an almost fanatical drive to improve, telling herself that if she was better, their smiles would never go away. Of course, Barbara was still a member of the church, and although she spent much of her time devoted to being an idol, she never slacked in her clerical duties either, being promoted to the deaconess of the church. These days, Barbara can be found throughout Mondstadt, performing for its citizens near the statue of the winged goddess, or in the church, using her magic to heal those unlucky enough to be heard out in the world, or, in the case of some she heals, by stray rocks that never seem to miss. Plenty of characters have something to say about her, whether it's Noelle reminiscing about the lunches they spend together chatting, Jean mentioning that Barbara works way too hard as she falls asleep at her desk, or even Diona's barely hidden jealousy that her fans are much more appealing than her own. They'd all agree she's really something special, and that Mondstadt should treasure her. Barbara's lore may be simple, but aside from the questionable messaging about depression near the start, it's a solid story, and it's a good jumping off point to start talking about the world of Genshin. That's all I have for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.